I'm doing this for the people who want the long shots, the sweats. I'm doing this for the people who want the parlays. Except in this video, you're going to learn how to do it right. Hey, I'm Dave Loughren, and you are watching The Perfect Parlay, where each and every week I'm going to give you my favorite parlay and a little sweetener at the end, my favorite ladder bet, and of course, boost going into every single week. Now, you may be saying, yo, there's no such thing as a perfect parlay. This guy's full of it. You would be correct. And the truth is, a lot of times, really great plus EV parlays lose and awful parlays win money. And then people come flocking to those people, go, this guy's a genius. And then they realize he's just clicking buttons. But there is a way to make a parlay in the sense that you're formulating it in a perfect way. You're leaving no stone unturned and you're making no mistakes. That is the purpose of this video, for us to win some money each week with some parlays, some ladders, some boosts, but also for you to help learn, or for me to help you learn how to build them the right way. And you can go and do that on your own going forward. That's what I care about. So hit that thumbs up if you appreciate this content. Maybe it'll help you along the way. I hope it does. Subscribe to the channel as well, and let's get into it. All right, so for this week's parlay in week 7, we are going to the rainy and windy streets of Cleveland, Ohio. And it is going to be, hit me with the drum roll, Quinshon Judkins, anytime touchdown, Quinshon Judkins, 100-plus rushing yards, and Dillon Gabriel under 181.5 passing yards. Now, here's the thing. There are many factors that go into a same-game parlay like this, but there is one thing. Like, if you're just grabbing this bet and bouncing from the video, I would urge you to stick around. The one thing about same-game parlays in general, but same-game parlays more than anything else, if you're not shopping the odds on these, you're going to get wrecked over time. Absolutely wrecked. Now, I'm going to give you an example of this for this specific parlay. Now, I bet this at plus 550. I posted it a couple days ago over on Tails. That is our free picks platform. You will love it. Link is in the description. Come follow me. All of my bets are free all season long. And we had a absolutely preposterous Thursday night that you can see here on the screen. Come join me, hang out, and grab free bets all day long. However, if you leave a comment down below and tell me who you think is going to have the most passing yards this week, whoever gets that right is getting $50 in Tails credits for any of the VIP packages that we have on the platform. But you look at this and I go, all right, I got it plus 550, but on Bet365, it's still plus 525, and I still like that spot quite a bit. How about everywhere else? FanDuel plus 366, Caesars plus 355, and DraftKings won't even allow you to parlay all three of them. Now, if you understand implied probabilities here, that would mean that in order to break even on this bet on FanDuel at plus 366, you would need to win the bet over 21% of the time. Say you bet it 100 times, you need to win this 21 times just to break even. What if you bet this on Bet365 at plus 525? You'd only need to win 16% of the time. So 16% of the time, 16 out of 100, which means those other 5 wins that you need on FanDuel are pure profit after that. And for those of you who that's too complicated, just consider yourself a $100 bettor. A $100 bet pays out $366 on FanDuel, but it pays out $525 on Bet365. And because we're naturally going to lose these parlays more than we win them, it's the nature of the game, right? Anyone that tells you they're smacking 100% success rate on 3, 4, 5 leg parlays is blowing smoke up your ass. Because we're going to lose them more than we win, taking the time to always shop the best number on whatever books you're on is literally going to be the difference between a losing and winning season for the large majority of bettors, including myself. Anyway, it's going to be nasty in Cleveland on Sunday, right? And I'm talking a lot of rain, 20 to 30 mile per hour sustained winds, up to 3/4 of an inch of rain, and up to 60 mile per hour wind gusts. What does that mean? Well, to me, it's hard to think, and I know this may be a chalky play on Judkins. People do like him this week, but I don't really care. It's hard to think Stefanski isn't going to force feed him and run Judkins into the ground, especially with after how the 52 pass attempt experiment for Dillon Gabriel worked out so well last week in Pittsburgh. I don't see them wanting to do that again because the Dolphins are allowing 170 rushing yards per game, 5.6 yards per attempt. I mean, they've been absolutely dreadful to the point where Rico Dowdle averaged 9 yards per attempt against them. Kamani Vidal almost matched his rookie rushing totals for the year in one game against the Dolphins last week. And then you had James Cook and Breece Hall average almost 6 yards per attempt as well. earlier a few weeks ago. So yeah, we're correlating Judkins rushing 100 plus with a touchdown, but also correlating that with the under on Dillon Gabriel passing yards. Because if Judkins goes nuts, if Judkins finding the end zone, Dillon Gabriel more than likely doesn't have to throw much. And the weather here is certainly going to be a huge factor. All right, my favorite type of bet, bonus round time. I love betting ladder plays. If you're unfamiliar with what they are, put it this way. You have a standard prop line on a guy. Let's take Jordan Addison over 41.5 receiving yards. And you want to ladder him up to 100. You think this is the game he could go off. Well, what you would do is you'd say, all right, typically I would bet a unit here. Well, what you could do in this instance is you could bet, say, a $100 unit, $50 on the 41.5 standard, and then climb those metaphorical rungs of the ladder all the way up to 100 with smaller unit allocations on each. So you might do 50, then you might do 30, then you might do 20, and you might do 10 to get all the way up to 100. So you're taking your unit and spreading it out to create more upside. And I love that for Jordan Addison in week 7 for a couple of reasons. One, it looks like Carson Wentz is going to start. A little revenge game time for our pal Carson here. I mean, look, he faced the Eagles before it was actually in Landover, Maryland at the Commander Stadium. I was at that game as an Eagles fan. They sacked him 7 times. He had no chance. But he also had no weapons in offensive line. He's on a great team now with a good offense, or with a good offensive-minded coach in Kevin O'Connell. They have a good defense, and the Eagles honestly seem somewhat broken right now, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this continue through week 7. The Minnesota Vikings are coming off of a bye. The Eagles desperately need a win after dropping 2 straight and one on prime time to the New York Giants in embarrassing 17-point loss fashion. However, Carson Wentz here has the advantage. It might sound crazy, and I know Jalen Carter's back, and I know Quinyon Mitchell's back, but Carson Wentz has the advantage in one very specific area. The Eagles have no second corner on the outside. Cooper DeJean is good in the slot, very good. Quinyon Mitchell is quickly becoming a shutdown corner, and his hamstring with the extended rest seems to be okay. But Adoree Jackson, Kelee Ringo, those guys are legitimately 2 of the worst corners in the league. I could see Quinyon Mitchell spending the bulk of time on Jefferson and Jordan Addison having ample opportunity here to carve up whichever one of those 2 corners he goes against, because Jackson's expected to start. He might just get benched. So what I did, I put a 2-unit play on this. Now, I'm not saying you do whatever you're comfortable with. Don't do what you can't bet. But I ran it all the way up to 100 yards at Bet365. By the way, link in the description if you want to get on Bet365. $200 in bonus bets when you deposit $10 and bet 5 of it. Bet it on one of these parlays. 200 in bonus bets guaranteed just for depositing 10, betting 5 with that link down below. It's found money. It's the easiest way to build a bankroll. 21 years or older to gamble. Gambling problem. Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. But hear me out. I got it at 10-1 on 100 yards. Jordan Addison has upside. He can do it on minimal opportunities, but I think more opportunities could be there this week. So I started it. I got it 39.5, posted that details as well earlier in the week, but 41.5 I'm totally fine with. Run that all the way up to 100 in increments. You can do 10 or 20-yard increments, but just continue to scale down as you go up because the payout gets bigger. And finally, a boost. If you have boost on your available books, guys, you should use them every opportunity you get, even if you're like me on FanDuel and I'm limited to $10 on these boosts. Other books, I can bet more, where I've kept my account a little bit more healthy. On FanDuel, not the case. Bet them no matter what. They can turn a bad bet into a good bet, a bad bet into a less bad bet, or a good bet into a better bet. Every time you have a boost, you should play it. And we have one for the London game, 30% anytime touchdown boost on FanDuel. Here's what we're going to do. I'm taking Davante Adams. I'll grab the low-hanging fruit here. I don't really care. And this is not just me going, I'm going to click a button on Davante Adams. No, I'll tell you exactly why. We're bringing this from minus 125 to plus 104. So now we're getting plus money. Puka Nacua is out. But what if I told you that this season, even with Puka Nacua in, Davante Adams still had a 24% target share on the most heavily concentrated offense in the league. So do you think Matthew Stafford is going to just spread it around a ton? Or is he going to redirect his focus to a guy that he's already targeting a ton on the season? So that's number one. Number two, what if I told you that no player in the league has more red zone targets than Davante Adams, who has 18? Or only George Pickens has more end zone targets with 12 than Davante Adams has with 10. And all of those games included Puka Nacua. So I like this. Getting Adams to plus money against the Jags team, who is also without their number one defender in Devin Lloyd out there in London this week. And that is where we're going to go.